Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Cardfight Vanguard video for you guys today. And today, in absence of updates, our simulators haven't updated with the new Virina or the new Gear Dragon support. I saw the new Gear Dragon, I want to make a deck, but regardless, we're taking a look back at a deck that's been requested of me to see if I can tweak, which is Daikaiser. So let's be real, Daikaiser has been struggling since Daikaiser was announced and released. But I've been tweaking it here and there, especially on stream, and I think I finally cracked the code. So I want to bring this deck to you guys who are struggling with this deck. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're going to talk about the cards, not linger so much on their effects, so these cards have been out for a while, but we're going to talk about the ratios and the whys, and then we're going to jump into some gameplay. So enough from me, let's jump in and let's talk about the deck. So up first, we got our ride line. Now, technically, the ride line doesn't matter. The whole reason we're playing Core Kaiser, though, is because of Kaiser's effect. Where, for anybody that doesn't know what Kaiser's effect is, it's got Legion. We'll talk about Legion in a minute. But auto Vanguard once per turn when this unit attacks. If there are no boosts for this battle, Energy Blast 3 this unit gets at the beginning of your drive step, choose one of your opponent's guardians other than an overtrigger and retire it until the end of that battle. And if your bind zone has no dimensional robo Core Kaiser, then bind a dimensional robo Core Kaiser from your soul, and this unit also gets, when your opponent's unit is retired from the guardian circle by this unit's ability, all of that unit's effects with cannot be hit are nullified. Basically, when he swings, you can Energy Blast 3, he gains the skill to retire a guardian. But if you haven't bound a Core Kaiser, you can bind a Core Kaiser to give it the skill to, if it retires a perfect guard, you can negate the perfect guard effect. The only downside to the biggest downside to this is that it's extremely telegraphed, because you have to pay the cost on swing and you have to bind the Core Kaiser on swing. It sucks. But it also forces your opponent to dump more guards. It's just, the hardest thing about it is timing. You also can't be boosted, so Legion helps with that because you can still make a big Vanguard. But it's a really weird play style. Another card that's kind of necessary is Kaiser Greater. So what Kaiser Greater does is when it goes on Vanguard, you search for your base, same as the Daikaiser ride line. Its second effect, though, when this unit is placed on rearguard from the soul by your card's ability, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Daikaiser in its card name, this unit and all of your Vanguards get plus 5,000 power. So when you're in Legion, you have two Vanguards. They both gain 5,000 power, so that's plus 10,000 power. Just something to think about. And then, of course, the base is important. Now, Kaiser, all it does is, if our point's at grade 2, so if we went second, we can discard a card to ride straight into Daikaiser, and then when this thing is rolled by Daikaiser, it comes out as a rearguard, and if you have Daikaiser as a Vanguard, it has a boost. It's a really good grade 2. Now, as far as the rest of the deck, we're playing 2 copies of Daikaiser. Daikaiser is our Legion mate. We can recycle it. I slept on Shadow Kaiser. Shadow Kaiser is the heart and soul of this deck. So I was complaining about this deck because as you start re-legioning, which you want to do to get triggers and combo pieces back in the deck, eventually you end up with all your grade 3 stuck in soul. The base can only call grade 2 or lower. Shadow Kaiser, I didn't realize his skill costs a soul blast and a bind. So what he does is if you have a grade 3 Daikaiser Vanguard and you did not ride this turn, you can soul blast 1, bind this card, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 or greater card with Daikaiser in its card name, and then ride it as stand. So you can soul blast, bind this, and miss the superior ride if you need to. It only can superior ride from deck, which I think is a huge oversight. It should have been deck or drop, but it is what it is. You can do that just to get the cards you want back into the deck, into the grave. For example, when you ride over with a new copy of Kaiser and you need to get Kaiser back into the deck so you can Legion again next turn, or if you need to get Daikaiser back so you can keep Legioning, you can Soul Blast, put those cards into the grave just to re-Legion them. This cost being a Soul Blast helps so much because there's no other Soul outs in the entire deck. It was requiring me to play really weird cards. This thing also gets 5k power if you have Daikaiser as a Vanguard, 10k if you have 3 or more bases, and if one of your Dimensional Robo Vanguards is attacked, you can put this card into the drop from your hand or rearguard, and that unit gains 10k. So it's a grade 3 that's basically a 10k shield. We have 2 extra copies of Daikaiser just to be able to keep recycling, to keep re-legioning. This is where things get weird. We're playing our Energy Blast Cyclist. This deck uses a hefty amount of Counter Blast and a hefty amount of Energy Blast if you want to use Daikaiser. But in the early game, You don't need either one of them as much, and it's a lot easier to manage, but we need card advantage more than anything. This deck does not draw cards. So that's why we needed to make sure we played Pasmira. 4 copies of Dilated. She's our best beat stick. She gets 10k just for our opponent being at grade 3 and having 2 bases. She also searches our bases. She's the only counterblast card we have in the deck besides Dayusha. But so once we have our bases, we don't need her to counterblast anymore. That's why we're playing a decent amount of counterblast cards without any counter charge, so it becomes a lot of decision making. We're playing 1 copy of Die Dragon just because it's a 15k shield, 1-shoot Legion. I don't like fitting too much of Dayusha's cards in here because of the fact that they all require Dayusha, not a Dimensional Orbital Vanguard. This one is also the same thing. What it does is if you have Dayusha as a Vanguard and your Vanguard's being attacked, you can retire it to give your Vanguard 15,000. Once you're in Legion, Dayusha is technically your Vanguard or part of your Vanguard, so you can do that. We're playing our Brantgate Ace unit. It's the best one. PGs. Baladrid, Ghost of Soul, digs for our pieces. We have a lot of grade 2 or greater cards we want to dig for. It also grabs set orders. So in reality, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 18, 22 targets for the net for that, which is like what, almost half our deck. And lastly is our trigger lineup. Obviously, Brant OT is the best one. We're playing draw triggers because we need to see a lot of cards. We have cards that gain extra shield, but we have Kaiser that requires us to put a card from hand into soul. We have Dayusha that requires us to put a card in hand into soul, so we burn up a lot of our own cards. So we need to try and maintain as much advantage as we can. And then, of course, crits and heals. Crits are the best with Kaiser. With Daikaiser, but we need to hit him. So guys, this is the deck. Now we're gonna go jump into some game play. We got a game and it looks like we are going second. We're going second. All right, and we opened up base. That's pretty good. Oh, we're playing against Varga. How we do against Varga? That is a scary thought. So we're gonna drop 5 Regalis. Now I think about it, this might actually be one where we want to play the other Regalis piece because we don't need to make a board. This deck makes a board. Deck search, add to hand, shuffle, and then we draw because of our starter. Now we play our base effect, rest, charge 1. Let's get Dilated to the soul. Now we go battle phase, shuffle, and we swing. Damage. That's a good card. Him getting a draw trigger is not good though. I want draw triggers. We actually just played this build against Bafsagra. We did really, really well, and that's kind of why I ended up deciding to do this video. We do want 1 damage so we can search. I mean, if he doesn't want to call anything else, I would appreciate it. All right, no guard. Damn. Will we take this? Oh, we have to because it's 2-card guard. Well, actually, hold on. At the beginning of your guard step of the Battle of Vanguard, you know what? Let's not even. We can't afford too many cards here. Ooh, that's a good card. We're gonna drop Glory Maker to ride Kaizard. Now discard a card from your hand. We're gonna go to main phase. We're gonna use Kaizard's skill. We're gonna discard Shadow Kaiser, and we're gonna ride right into Daikaiser. And then we're going to call out our Kaizard. Let's call Kaizard here. And next we're going to use our base, paying 2 to call out Dilated, and then Dilate's effect, Counterblast, look, deck search, reveal, add to hand, shuffle. Now we obviously can't Legion here as our opponent is only at grade 2, but it's okay. Now we're gonna play our order, then we're gonna use it, energy charge 1. Now we can search our entire deck We're gonna put that battles into soul. Setting up for next turn. Now, do I want to use this and try and... Oh, we also have this. I know technically I missed the trigger, but this is when your Vanguard appears, it calls itself out. It's a really, really strong card. It also forces your opponent to guard with multiple cards. So, battle phase. We're going to go Kaizard to the Vanguard. I'm not going to Energy Blast on the Vanguard, because he's probably not going to actually use anything. So we're going to go 21, 2 to guard. Alright, Twin Drive. First check, critical trigger, we love it. Second check, critical trigger, we love it. Now, I know normally you don't want to give Vargar too much damage, but we want to fuck him up, so... This retires itself. 30k, still gotta guard it. Alright. He's gonna retire my front row, but that's not really a big deal. We gotta keep the pressure on. He's already at 4 damage. That's like perfect for us. That's where where we can actually get really scary. Especially since we're gonna put everything on the front line. We're gonna Legion next turn. We're gonna use Die Battles to get an extra critical, and then we're going to have a Restanding Vanguard with a guard restrict with our guard break on our first swing, and then the 2 cards to guard on our second swing. So it's gonna be a nice turn. Ooh, him having Sure is annoying. Oh, his Divine Skill's live too. Let's see what we can do here. He did stop. He played Rokusai, so we can't intercept. That blows. Obviously, he's gonna swing rear guards first. 15, really? I mean, I'll guard it. Is he gonna try to push me to 4? I'll guard that too. Yep, draw. Rokusai, draw. God, I hate Varga. Alright, front row gets retired. I mean, I might as well just let him, right? Let him blow out everything. No bird. Just don't get a crit. Word. $33. He's definitely trying to go for Divine Skill. That's funny. I mean, we have plenty of options, so I'm not super worried. All right, we shut off his heal triggers for next turn too. He is Divine Skilling. 23. We'll go to the pass. You know what? No reason to drop the trigger. All right, let's do this. All right, main phase. Let's start off with Legion. Legion. We're gonna send back the triggers. Send back a Shadow Kaiser because we don't need both. And we'll send back Kaizard. Bam. Now, what is in my soul? Ooh, we want to call both of those. We want to call both of those. So let's play this. And then we'll go skill. Energy charge 1, rest. Then we'll put Lady. Oh wait, we gotta call this too. Almost did it again. When you Legion, you're putting a new grade 3, which also does the same thing. And then we're gonna put this into the soul. Now, I'm gonna use, let's do this. Reveal. remove, sorry. Drop. You have to remove it. Remove. All right, we get to look at top 5. Top 5. All right, we're gonna call the 2 boosters. We're gonna call the 2 boosters back here. So let's call the Daikaiser. Let's call the Daikaiser. Bang. Then we go deck shuffle. Now we're gonna go skill. A2. Call dude. When this unit is placed on rigor from soul, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Daikaiser's card name and your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, yep. Bam. So now our Vanguard's gonna get a crit. And then we're gonna go skill. Energy blast 2. Now we only need 3 energy for our skill. We're gonna go call. Actually, we're gonna swap these. We'll do it like that. No, that's fine. You know what? Not think about it. That's fine. I'm gonna go power plus 5 here. Power plus 10 to Vanguard. Because since we have 2 Vanguards, they both gain 5k. And then lastly, we're gonna call this guy skip. Energy blast 3. Look at top 5. Get to add any card to our hand. Let's add Balladrid to hand. And then shuffle. And then he gains 5k. Now we're gonna go battle phase, swing, skill, counterblast 1, we draw. Vanguard's gonna gain 10k, and then all of my robots gain another 5k. All my dimensional robots. So, and then skill, energy blast 3, and bind. He's not guarding. Twin drive, first check, second check, critical trigger. Power here, crit the van. That's an OT, but he has to take 2 more damage. GG. He smashed Varga. Even without the critical trigger. I mean, granted, he got the OT, so he would have lived. But by putting the extra critical on our Vanguard, as well as pumping it up, we put the guard restrict, so we could have retired. And if he had perfect guarded that first swing, we would have retired the perfect guard and gotten to kill it. And then if he had survived, we would have restood and swung with Glory Maker's boost, forcing him to guard with at least 2 cards, or if he has Aventari Sanctitude. Then you saw the sides of our other columns. We had Daikaiser with 28 by himself, plus a 18k booster, so 46 on that side. And the other side was this with a 13k boost. This was 15k, and it would have gained another 10k, so 28 plus a 13k boost, 38. So yeah, we hit some crazy numbers. We got the draw, and yeah, we just smashed Varga, so I feel good about that. Well, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You saw we took a shitload of damage, but we also saw that the deck doesn't really need to counterblast that heavily. Like, besides Dayusha, was the one counterblast every turn. Once you have a decent amount of orders, you don't need to keep searching for the orders, or God forbid one of them gets damaged. Once you, like, the deck functions off 3, but 4 is just a bonus. Let me know any other techs you guys are trying with this deck down in the comments. I would love your ideas. I would love to keep tweaking on this, because this deck is a lot of fun when it functions. If you guys want to check me on social media, those links are down below. That's it from me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. This was a quick one. Later.
See it in my eyes, I was born for this. I got demons on my side, you ain't right like this. I got reason to believe, I don't need it from my gifts. Only I can change the world and it go like this.